How are we doing, folks? Well, we've lots to do in this project still, even though we've had the engine running. That's only the beginning. It now needs to be taken apart, so let's start by taking the cylinder head off. It's a fairly straightforward procedure so far as I can tell anyway. We take the exhaust off, and then I do actually want to shorten that. Take the carburetor off. The rocker shaft has to come out. I still have to figure out exactly how to do that. I think it's just a case of undoing that screw and it moves sideways and lifts out. Take this off. I'm hoping that bolt is not seized in, but we'll find out soon enough. And then there are 5 nuts, one in there, another one down there, and then 2 more under the rocker shaft. And then a few taps with a soft faced hammer, and it should lift off. So we'll see how we fare out with that. Make it sound easy by describing it, but you know yourself, when you're talking about kind of a 60-year-old engine, it's not always that straightforward. But let's see how we get on. Joining me today is the little lad over in his car seat over the other side there. Have to do my duties as the daddy as well too, of course, but he seems to be happy out. So yeah, you never know, maybe at this young age you might learn a little bit already. But who knows? Should be interesting to see. Get the old gloves on. Now, right, I suppose what we'll do is we'll start by taking this out, this bolt, and see how we figure out. I got my Imperial tool home from work. So I know it's not strictly speaking Imperial, the socket sizes on this, but they're certainly not metric anyway. We've hit our first turtle already. I think between Imperial and metric, I think we're going to find the right sizes. That's what we're going to end up having to do. That's kind of alright. That's probably about as good as we're going to get. Let's go a trusty 10 ratchet onto this. Oh, it turns. Given the fact that it's not too tight, an ill-fitting socket will do the job, but in the case of the head bolts or the head nuts, I don't want to even chance that, so I'll make sure I get a decent socket. So that's that out of the way already. We're already making progress. And get ourselves a tray to put all the bits in. Here we go. That will do. Next is to take off the exhaust and carburetor. It's really just a case of undoing bolts. Just keep going until you get there. Doesn't fit that well. So 40. That's half inch standard. So you can find it 9/16. Okay, there's 9/16. 9/16 is too loose, half inch is too tight. So, yeah, Whitworth is a pain in the ass, big time. But you'll make do. So, just bolts out the flange for the exhaust and leave the rest of the assembly together for the moment. We'll come apart again. I want to shorten that pipe, as I said. So, that still needs to be done. But here we go, test that off. Our fully serviceable rebuilt carburetor now has to come off. Okay, now there we go. So the carburetor and exhaust are removed. You alright there, mister? He's delighted with himself. Now before we go any further, let's spray a bit of WD-40 on those head nuts in there. They look fairly crusty and I don't think they're going to come out easily. But we have the technology, we can rebuild it. I have the technology, but I'm running out of WD-40. It's always annoying. There's loads in this can, but it's just it doesn't seem to want to come out very easily. Anyway, I think I have another can somewhere, so we can worry about that at a later stage. Next we need a larger flathead screwdriver. one came out lovely. Okay, I'm going to take it out all the way. There we go. It's dimpled, okay. So, great. So I was right then. I took a guess. It's actually quite simple. Using a suitable drift, of course. Big stupid screwdriver, but there you go. Does the job. So let's take this out. So we need to keep everything in the right order. So what I'll do is, first of all, we take out the spacer, rocker, spacer, rocker, and spacer. Now, that's basically that. So next thing what we're going to do is we're going to put the shaft back through. And that's not going to go anywhere for the moment. I'm going to just leave it like that in there. Okay, and that will keep all of that together. So let's have a look. We have our 2 push rods now as well too, which can come out. So we'll keep one on the left and one on the right of the hammer. I will label everything afterwards. You don't need to see me labeling things, but you get the gist. Spark plug can go in there. That's a new spark plug, so we keep that safe. Now we get ourselves a decent socket to get down onto those extension. Oh, it's a lovely fit. That fit perfectly. That's good. Okay, so we're happy there. We're happy there. So let's not mess about with 3/8 drive stuff. 1/2 inch. And we have a 1/2 inch and 3/8 step down. I don't have a 1/2 inch socket that's the right side, so either way I was going to have to use a step down. But break the torque. That went quite nicely. It makes sense to break the torque in the order you would torque them. There or thereabouts. Prevents head warping. I'd say it would be quite difficult to warp one of these heads, but let's not tempt fate here. Okay. That's the torque and the head broken now. So we have nut number 1. It's a kind of a brass nut. It's immersed in water. You don't want to be using steel nuts, you'll never get them off. And the ones in here are domed as well too, to keep the water away from the threads. Good engineering. I'm kind of seeing that with this engine. I mean, although it's low in power, it's intended to do its job for a very, very long time. I see no reason why it wouldn't, especially after I've rebuilt it. A few basic hand tools, a few bits and pieces in my home garage. It'll go back to being able to do its job for many years to come again. Of course it won't. I don't actually have a particular use for it, but it's a project, and that's what I'm enjoying about it. Okay, so there's the nuts off. So now the moment of truth. And soft face hammer. Hey, and it's off. Okay. Yeah. It's testament to the engineering of this engine. It's testament to the engineering of this engine that this was working at all. It's incredible. I'll bring you up close to have a look now. First of all, we're going to need a new head gasket. Secondly, although there's no wear step there, nothing that I'd be too concerned about. No, there's not. That comes off at the fingernail. That is a very gummed up looking piston. Now bear in mind it did squirt oil in there, so any oil residue would be from that, most likely. But there's a lot of carbon. So this engine has been well used. But now what we need to be careful of, and this is something I just really thought of just there now, I would imagine there's asbestos in that head gasket. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get rid of the young lad out of here, bring him back inside. Then I think that'll do me for the day. I'll just take that head gasket out and dispose of it carefully. So that's as much as we're going to do now. You can see there's the full bore. Okay, so now that I've got the brought the Baba back inside, out of harm's way, and I'm going to set about removing that head gasket. Now, I don't know if it is asbestos, but to be honest with you, I'm not willing to take the chance. There is a facility that will dispose of it, so I can bring it up there. There's another piece actually I want to dispose of from something else as well too, so I may get rid of them both at the same time. I hate the stuff. But, nonetheless, it has to be done. Very good, man. To quote Doc Brown, "It's safe now, everything's lead lined." Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, there's all sorts of muck in here now. Let's have a quick look. I don't know what that's off. I'm sure we'll find out in the fullness of time if it's even off this engine. There's a bolt anyway. Stud with a nut on it actually. It's like ash actually, whatever's in here. That's just got the consistency of anyway. I think it's remarkable that this engine was running. I think there's shite that's in here. Look at that. There's a bit of very light scoring on the, well, it's not that light. A bit of scoring on the the inside of the bore, but Hopefully our honing tool will take that out anyway. But I'm not going to worry too much about the block at the moment. Literally, I just want to get the head sorted out first of all, and then we can worry about the block at a later stage. One piece at a time really is, I think, the way forwards in this. Make sure now. It smells old oil, very old oil in this case. I was delighted to see how easily those nuts came off the studs. I was afraid we were going to end up breaking something or having to use excessive force, let's just say. But no, they had minimal torque on them, so and the threads even look good, so I think we're in good condition there. So that's a bonus. It's remarkable that this had compression, it really is. Anyway, that's why I'm enjoying this project, you know. So look at those valves. Amazing why they put the spark plug in it as well too. I mean, it's down in a recess. So efficiency was not the design of this head, it was really longevity, I think, was really what they were looking for. They got that, they hit the nail on the head with that one. It's got the original stickers on it. It's a shame to lose them, but we're going to be blasting this, you know, so I mean, it kind of has to be done. I think what we'll do is, geez, the valve spring compressor was probably overkill. You press them down very easily with your fingers. There's one of the pins out and the spring off. Happy days. Change the pin. It's a little flat joke actually. I thought it was kind of more of a roll pin, but no, yeah, you can see it now. When you look closer at these things, it sometimes becomes more apparent. So I have to come off very easily like that. Okay, that's the two valve springs. They're oily, which is good, that's what you want. And now let's take the valves out. God, there's no way this was sealing. Quite pitted. I'll show you now in a second. So yeah. Alright, let's turn the head next. Look back. We'll have a gander and see what they're looking like. Alright, so sunlight is helping for you to see. I'm actually using the camera to magnify it myself as I show you. And yeah, it's quite pitted, but we have some valve lapping compound, so we will certainly be trying that. Not before we blast and clean up the head though. Okay, great. Okay, so where does this all leave us? Well, it leaves us with a garage just in an absolute disaster now. So yeah, there's stuff all over the place. That's one thing that needs to be sorted out. But progress has been made nonetheless on the Lister project. First of all, the head is in paint. So it needs another coat. I'm going to do that now after I've put the camera down. Painting and holding the camera at the same time, it's not very easy. I got the broken bolts out of it as well too, so I'm quite happy with that. Ended up drilling them and using an easy out to get them out, so that actually went quite well. I tried welding a nut onto the top, but I couldn't get the weld penetration to get any grip on them, so that just didn't work. The cast iron just took the heat away too quickly. So we also have some goodies back from cleaning and blasting, and I'm going to talk you through them now and show you what we have. Okay, so here's our box of goodies. Now there's one box. It's a 12 volt oil pump. No, it's not. The 12 volt oil pump is over there, and that was used for sucking the oil out of the crankcase. We'll get into that now in a minute. What we have here is valve springs, nice and shiny. Valves that have been refaced on the lathe, which are going to need to be lapped in obviously, but they should work nicely as well too. All the rocker shaft components freshly blasted up. I didn't blast the inner bearing surfaces, obviously. I masked them up. I mean, that wouldn't be good, such a great idea. That's the rod for, sorry, that's another valve. You can see there, they needed to be machined because there was quite a bit of pitting. I'm hoping when I lap them that pitting comes out. If not, we're just going to have to look at getting new valves. This is the other piece here now that might give you a clue as to what else I was up to. This is the push rod for the governor. Now it's looking pretty good. The tap there is for the bottom of the fuel tank. I got a new fuel tank for it as well too. Well, replacement fuel tank. Took that valve apart, cleaned out the insides and polished it all up. There's our head nuts, blasted up as well. Various bits of hardware. And the rocker shaft with the greaser in the end of it. A little bit pitted, but again, the engine doesn't turn that fast. I'm not going to be too worried about that, to be honest with you. Once it runs, I'm kind of happy, you know, that way. And I'd say if it loses a fraction of its horsepower from something like that, then, or its longevity, then that's not really going to be consequential to me. Anyway, here's our governor, cleaned out. Governor flyweights are moving nicely. I'm going to spray that with some chain oil, I think is what I'll actually use on that. And we'll use some engine oil down there. Here is our camshaft assembly with timing gear, and that's all looking nice and clean. Gears are all clean. She's looking pretty good. Obviously needs to be painted next. The tops of the water tank and the rocker cover, if you want to call it a rocker cover, I suppose that's what it is, and the cover for the governor. So got a nice collection of bits there, ready to go for paint and then get put back together again. So we'll press on. So next thing I'm going to be doing, and this will be for the next video, is putting the head back together. So that'll be with all these components here. We're going to see how that all comes together, and yeah, stay tuned and I will keep you updated with my progress. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, just having a quick look at the crankcase here. To say that it's in a sorry state is an understatement. See that gunge in there? That's right the way through it. It's no wonder the bearings are shot in this as well too. So I do have new bearings, well, replacement bearings to go into it. So we'll be looking at that. Now you'll see that the governor assembly is still fitted to this. I do have another governor assembly. That's what I was actually showing you. That governor is not going back onto it. Anyway, it's not complete. The cover's missing. The two springs are missing. The whole housing is missing. I don't really understand why they did that, to be honest with you. Maybe it broke. Actually, I'm just looking, it probably did. So anyway, we have our nice shiny Magneto sitting on top of this heap of junk, but it's not going to be left like that for much longer. That's kind of probably the next thing we need to get on to after we've got our governor assembly all set up.